Benny, I suppose just first up, have you spoken to Tex? Do you have any indication of where he's at? Have you seen him doing anything? Can you give us some insight into how things are going in that space?
Yeah, seen him doing a little bit, but yeah, obviously being a veteran of many pre-seasons, I think he's just managing his body the best way that he knows how. So yeah, seen him around the place. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be all good.
And I'm sure you'd be happy to have him manage his body how he wants, so he can get there for round one. He's obviously such a critical part of everything that you do up forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's done, I think, pretty much the whole pre-season again, which is just phenomenal for us younger guys to look up to a veteran like that, see how he trains through the summer. So he's done everything he can to this point. And yeah, hopefully we get him out there because he's super important to us, leader of the club. It's been fantastic for our forward line. Speaking
of pre-season, you must be happy that it's finally, you've got the finish line, inside, and you're at that stage where you don't have to answer questions about pre-season. You can just move into round one and playing actual footy for premiership points.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone hangs out for it, so it's good to get the pre-season behind us. But it has been an enjoyable one. It's been tough, but it's been enjoyable. I think our group's really connected well, and a lot of guys have had really good summers. So hopefully that holds us through the season. And yeah, just looking forward to getting into it on Saturday.
What did you take out of watching the Suns over the weekend?
Yeah, yeah, they're clearly improved and they look really good. As everyone sort of expected, they were going to improve this year, and I think they have some really talented players, and yeah, they're working really hard, and clearly they've also had a big pre-season. So it was good to be able to get a look at them. I guess being able to play them this week and have the week off, so had a little bit of an extra look at them, so I sort of know what to expect. Yeah, but they're going really well. They've had a good summer, and clearly doing some things really well at the moment.
Are your tagging days over, or could you do a job on one mat round?
I don't think they're over, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do this week. But I have trained in the forward line pretty much all summer, so that's been my role. But definitely the options there, hopefully, if the coaches need it. But yeah, it's just good to have that versatility, I guess, for myself, being able to do those multiple roles. So yeah, there if it's needed.
Yeah, is it even more, I mean, you were predominantly forward last year, but is it more exclusive this year? Do you think that will?
Yeah, I think I've probably done a little bit more forward this pre-season. That being said, I've had little stints, so it's again, as I said before, it's there if they need it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the challenge to really add that versatility. It's a challenging role, as we all know. Probably doesn't get the sort of the rewards publicly or externally that it should, but yeah, it's been really enjoyable to work with the forwards coach Burnsy this year, Scott Burns. It was James Rahili last year, so working with some great coaches to work on my forward craft, and yeah, I've loved it.
About expectations, Ben, 10 of the captains sort of pick you guys for the finals. Do you feel that outside expectation at all on you to reach the finals this year, or?
Now that we've been together as a group for sort of the whole summer, not really. We're really trying to narrow our focus just to sort of the first game, the first couple of games really, and see how we go. So obviously there was a bit of noise, last year, end of last year, and then people naturally tipped us to take another step forward. But once we sort of got together as a group over the pre-season, we've really just tried to narrow our focus down, and I think the coach has done a really good job at that. So yeah, we'll see how we go start the year.
Just the 2 away wins last year, and I think one of them was essentially a dead rubber in that final game. How big a focus is sort of rectifying that pretty early on this season?
Yeah, that was something we spoke about at the end of last year, as to reasons as to why we sort of didn't get to where we thought we should have. Yeah, that was one of the main reasons, so perfect opportunity this weekend to try and get that right to start the season.
What have you found? What did you discover about your performances on the road that you reckon you need to just tweak a little bit?
Yeah, it's a hard one. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. You can sort of go down a rabbit hole of looking at, the travel and, when you train the day before and do all these little things. But I think it's essentially just going to be, how do we handle the pressure and how do we stick to our way, stick to our footy. Probably a little bit too much last year. We would adjust a little bit too much. Maybe a younger group contributes to that, but just sort of the pressure of playing away, we just sort of change our style. So hopefully now that we've had another pre-season together, we've really nailed down our style, our game plan, how we want to play, and it's just going to be about sticking to that.
You must be sick of talking about this, but several months on from the goal that was a point that still was a goal, how do you reflect on it? Obviously, in the immediate aftermath, there's that reactionary kind of response and frustration with probably what the ultimate outcome was. But with a few months to sit on it, how do you kind of What's your perspective on everything now?
Just trying to see it as an opportunity and I guess a reason to be more hungry. Really, that's all you can really do with something like that, and that's what I've tried to do, and I think that's what the whole club's tried to do. And we're gonna try and keep that hunger and intensity, and use it to fuel us rather than sort of sit and stew on it.
Not suggesting it's a blessing in disguise, but can it be helpful sometimes to have those moments that galvanise an entire club and bring them together and provide that hunger?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think when something like that happens, that's sort of the only thing to do, really. It's the right course of action to get around each other, galvanise each other, and use it as fuel. So I think that's what we're going to try and do.
How's Mark Keane? Felt like he reasonably knocked around from that concussion, back out of the protocols. You think he'll be right to go this week?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be able to give you an exact answer, but I've seen him around the place, and he looks fine.
How's the mood been within the club this week ahead of round one?
Yeah, the mood's been good. Mood's been similar to as it's been all summer. I feel like we've worked really hard as a group. We're a real hard-working group, we like to think. So we've just done that again this week and, tried to prepare.
Chris Burgess, reasonable chance you think playing against his old side? What have you liked about him and his addition to the club?
Yeah, Chris has been huge. One thing I've enjoyed from Chris is his defensive stuff. He's quite athletic, he's quite quick, he's quite agile as well. So as a taller player, when he's able to put that sort of defensive pressure on, it's really valuable to the team. But he's obviously done some ruck work as well as a backup ruckman. So with Riley Thilthorpe obviously going down, he's our predominant backup ruckman. So Burjo's able to do that as well. So yeah, hopefully he's a reasonable chance for this weekend.
Just on Riley, what sort of a blow is that? Everyone was saying how he'd come back so fit and big and had a great pre-season, but to lose him for a chunk, what's that do to the playing group? I guess the mentality.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. He had a huge pre-season. He'd done a lot of work. He's probably one of our hardest workers at the club, and to see him get those sort of results over the pre-season was really inspiring. So to lose him, it's obviously disappointing, but it's one of those things that every club's going to have to go through. Already seen a number of clubs roll into opening round or round one with a few key players missing. So it's not just us that's going to miss a key player, but as we just spoke about, guys are going to have to step up, like Chris Burgess, like Lockie Gallant, these type of guys. So it's disappointing, but I know Riley will get straight back to work because that's what he's done his whole career really since he's arrived.
You talked about the young group last year. It's only been a few months, but does it feel like an older group? Has there been some growing up done, do you think, by some of those younger players? Do you feel like they're ready to sort of take the next step? Yeah,
I think so. I think we've definitely become more experienced. Guys are speaking up more. You've obviously seen the leadership group that got announced. We've got different faces in there, guys that have really stepped up in those roles. And even the guys that aren't in that group, there's a number of younger players that have really matured and are really starting to show their personalities and find their voice. So that's going to be really important for us. We're big on having a lot of guys going to have to do that. Going to have to get out of their comfort zone, become leaders. And then as the games go, we'll just add more experience, so it's exciting.
Rochelle and Rankin, have they been training in the midfield or in the forward line during the summer?
They've done a lot of forward stuff. They've also done some midfield stuff as well. So both of them have mixed in the midfield over our pre-season games. You probably saw, and particularly Isaac. Isaac spent a bit of time in there working his midfield craft as well.
Do you expect them to play more midfield minutes this season?
Yeah, I reckon I expect them to roll through there at some point. Yeah, we're pretty big on trying to spread the load in that midfield. We've had, times where we've had sort of the same group roll through and it gets pretty fatiguing on the body, takes a toll on you by the end of the season. So to be able to have multiple guys roll through there is really important. I think you see the best sides are doing it quite effectively. So we want to try and emulate that.
So that's about opening ground. I mean, it was a bit weird watching not being involved. And then how do you think it's going to work in your favour? Gold Coast obviously had one game, you guys are fresh. How does that balance up, I guess?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. It's probably too early in the season to really swing it either way. So we've had a great pre-season block. We've had two pretty high-intensity matches against Port and then West Coast. And then we had a good hit out against ourselves last Friday. So we're feeling pretty good, pretty match fit. And obviously, we got to have an extra look at the Gold Coast and see what they were going to bring to the table in round one. So I don't think it's one of those things that'll swing either way.